Welcome back to an update. We hadn't sat down to do an update in a while, and so we thought we would sit out here with the bugs that I feel currently crawling on me and do an update. It's pretty hot out here right now.
On the update.
Update on the update. Also, I don't have a lot of time to edit this video, so
we'll get it right.
No, we gotta get it right. No messing up in this video.
My update is, and this is just super random, but it's funny. I don't know how we ever started talking about Dusty Rhodes, Rick Savage, and Hulk Hogan, all these old wrestlers. But we somehow started talking about them, and I remember seeing clips of Dusty Rhodes maybe, but I'd never seen like Rick Savage. Of course, you know who Hulk Hogan is.
Yeah.
Well, Dad started looking up some of their old little promotional like clips and stuff, and now I think it's just the funniest thing. And now I'm just like, I wish I would have been alive in the 80s just to enjoy like how funny that was, because it's just so hokey and so obviously fake, but it's hilarious. This whole Rick Savage thing. He's like, all the stuff he's saying, he's like, yeah, that's how he always says. He always between everything goes, yeah. And then I'm gonna, yeah. I love, he just keeps going back to that and saying, yeah. And I don't know. So, like, everybody who was born in the 80s or everybody else who knows who Rick Savage is, that's just cracking me up. Is it Rick Savage? No, that can't be it. It's Randy Savage. Ricky Savage. Randy Savage.
I don't know who that is.
And this update's gonna make me look really pitiful if I got that all wrong and it's not Rick Savage, it's Randy. I wasn't alive, though. Hold on, let's find out. I wasn't born. No, not Tandy. Randy.
Tandy's?
Yeah, it's Randy Savage. It's not Rick or Ricky Savage.
It's okay. You got it. You eventually got it.
Well, keep in mind, I wasn't born, so... And I only got introduced to him, like, a day ago. Like, yesterday, the day before. But it's funny, and so my update is... If you should go watch some old clips, because if you're having a bad day, it'll cheer you up.
It'll cheer you up. So, speaking of bad days... So on one of the last videos that we did, it was on a devotional video that I did about having a broken spirit. If you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link in the description.
So if you're like, Randy, it's Randy, let's just cut the whole video here. No, we're not now.
No, we're not cutting it. And I got a lot of comments, people worrying that I had postpartum depression, and thank you for your concern. I think that that's really sweet, and we wanted to do an update video. We just haven't done one in a while.
Give me.
Oh, we got water right here, yeah. But one reason why we wanted to do an update was to address that. I definitely don't have postpartum depression. Again, I appreciate that people were concerned, and, you know, of course, I know postpartum depression is a very serious thing that lots of women get after they have their baby, and that's definitely, you know, not good, and I'm sorry for anyone who has to deal with that, but I definitely don't have postpartum depression. I just was making that video about just kind of a devotional topic that I felt like God was laying on my heart, and all those devotional videos, you know, it'll be something that I'm studying or a verse that I come across. It's just something, again, that I feel like God is teaching me, and then I just want to pass it along. So it was really just in that kind of light. I don't have postpartum depression. I feel really blessed and lucky that postpartum wise, I mean, I felt pretty good. I mean, I took some healing, you know, just from the physical ordeal of birth, but I mean, I feel pretty good at this point. I mean, I have a little bit of emotion sometimes, but nothing real serious. I mean, I'm tired, but that's about it. And in the video, I did say at times in my life that I've had a broken spirit, but this is not one of those times. I'm just talking about things I've dealt with in the past, made me feel, and everyone's went through that before. Whatever tough thing you're going through, if it's just really wore you down, you might just really feel like, wow, my spirit's just broke. Like, I don't know what to do next. I don't know how to get through this situation.
And I think too, like, sometimes if I feel led to share something, like, about what I, you know, an interpretation I have about the Spirit or the Bible or something God has told me or taught me, sometimes it's just a reflection. Like, I'm looking back on times where I did feel like that. Right. And then as time moves on and I get further away from said time where I felt whatever it was, I can then have some clarity to put into some sort of words what I was feeling, and then I think, well, maybe this would help somebody else, or let me share this, or maybe it was something that, like, oh, if I don't only realize this then, but see God give me this clarity after the fact, better say something so someone in that position might know and won't have to do the hindsight's 20/20 thing. So sometimes if it's that, or even singing a song that I like, and it's like someone might be like, man, that's a really sad song. That's our deer alarm down there. You know, is there something going on? And I'm like, nope, nothing going on. I just
like the song.
I just like the song. Or nothing's going on right now. This is just something I've learned that I think might help you.
Right.
So I want to share it, because sometimes I always feel bad if I come up with something. I'm like, I'll be thinking to myself, this ain't half bad. This is kind of smart. I'll share it. And then sometimes you feel like people are like, oh, let me help you. And I'm like, no, I was the one that was supposed to be helping you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Anyway.
I know what you're saying. That's one thing that's been one just...
Let me have my one moment where I feel smart, and then tomorrow I'll go back to being an idiot.
That's like one thing that's been hard about YouTube, is sometimes videos get taken not in the way that you wanted them to be taken, and that's just how it is for anyone, because you have this idea in your head, and you have an idea of like how you're going to present it to people and how it's going to go over, and then not everyone sees it in the way that you think that they're going to see it, and sometimes that turns out to be a good thing. Like, they get something from it that's totally different that you didn't intend, but it's still a really positive thing. But carpenter bees, that's what I was hearing. I was like, what's that clicking behind me from the gutter? But
The deadly fur, the deadly bee, the deadly what would you say, sky raisin, fur on wings. They're like fuzzy. That. Their little backs are fuzzy.
They're so cute.
Flying flying the furry. It's like a blur. Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry. The fur blur.
Furry blur. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anyways, what I was gonna say was that's been one of the cool things though about the channel, and on those devotional videos or on different ones, I know exactly what you're saying, and I've definitely felt that way myself, but. When everyone's like, it's going to press, I'm like, wait a second, no,
I'm supposed to be helping you if you are on the other side of the computer.
And not everyone thought that. And again, I look, I feel like we're sounding like jerks here, and that's not what I mean, because I greatly appreciate people's concern. That is so sweet, and that just genuinely means a lot to us. But what I was going to say, and then we're going to move on to the next thing, was that so many people too, though, the comments, y'all have helped me, I feel like, more than I have helped y'all. I mean, so I can't tell you how many comments I've read that just were so helpful, just heartwarming stories that people have shared, or on the devotional videos, other verses that they've shared, just lots of stuff that they've shared that's
right.
helpful.
That's right. So, moving on.
Yes, moving on.
I will say my bit about postpartum depression. I was very blessed too. I didn't have it, and I think it's because one reason my baby is so insane that I didn't have time to do anything except pray that I wouldn't die. Because I was scared of my own baby because he's so crazy.
But listen, let me just stop you right there.
We're not gonna. I ain't making light of it. It's a serious problem that people have.
And I'm not even saying that about postpartum depression. It is a serious thing, but that's another thing. We got some comments recently about, well, why is Katie like talking about her baby like that? She shouldn't be. And I just want to stop you right there. Kate, so he has had some like hurdles to overcome. He is a somewhat fussy baby, and some babies are. But when you say stuff like that, you just like talk big. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't mean, my baby's a nuisance to me.
No,
you just mean, I know, but I'm just clarifying for comments so that people don't, so we don't get the comments saying, well, why is Katie talking about her baby like that? It's not like that. That's you know, anyone who's been on the channel long enough knows that Katie just
now
kind of adds on.
I tell you something. Listen here, I love that little boy more than anything. I'd cut my right arm off right now just to appease him, if that's what it meant. When I say crazy, I mean he's wild. He's spunky.
Has a big personality.
He don't sleep.
He beautiful personality.
Oh, it's wonderful. But he's
a wild man.
To be his age, he's insane. And then I've mentioned this before, and I'll say it again. And then being one person and doing it by yourself's rough, and not having no help, and not. I mean, I have my mama and my daddy, but you know what I'm talking about. I don't think I have to make myself clear on that. And it can be hard, and it's been a lot to go through. You know, you got to deal with the mental aspect of all of that, and then a baby that won't sleep, and a baby that cries nonstop, and you don't know what they want, and then it takes you weeks to figure out what it is that they want. And he's just wild. And let me tell you something, it'll wear on you being one person and shouldering that heavy burden by yourself. It will wear you down. So I kind of feel like, I feel like I've got the right to talk about however I want to talk about him. But
I'm just saying that because I don't want people to comment and then
I love him more than anything.
No,
trust me.
We're not talking crap about Ira. He's just wild. He's a wild man.
Yes, and that's, I mean, I think a lot of people too use different terms to describe
Yeah.
things. Like someone might be like, "Look how big, that's huge," and I'm like, "That's a big fish," and I'm like, "It's 2 pounds," you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on.
Bread maker.
The bread maker. Corey did
I
get a
got a
bread
bread
maker.
maker.
I went to the post office to get it. That's the first
Thank
time
you
I've
for
been
that, by
to
the
the
way.
post office since I had.
This is the first time that I have honestly been away from Woody. Now I can almost see him from here. If the house didn't have a wall right there, I would be able to literally probably see him in his pack and play right now.
How cute.
Yeah, but that's something that's
Pack and play boy.
pack and play boy. That's something this is like the first time I've ever actually like left him. Besides just walking down the hallway to sleep for a couple hours when Austin's in the house. But I did get a bread maker just off Amazon. I've been wanting to get a bread maker for a long time. We have one at Mom and Dad's, and we made a video about that. It was actually Miss Cindy's recipe, so we'll put the link in the description for that. But I ended up just getting one off Amazon and made the first loaf of bread in it yesterday. And it was just the standard sandwich bread recipe that came with it. I also linked the one that I got in the description just if anyone's curious, because I know people might say, "Which one did you get?" It's a Cuisinart. I don't know if I said that right.
Cuisine art.
That ain't right. It's Cuisinart, right?
How's it spelled?
Oh, I don't know. Cuisinart. I don't know. Cuisinart? Cuisinart? It probably is Cuisinart.
I don't know. Either way, it's a cool bread maker, and
Yeah,
we'll put
it's
the
just
description
fun.
in there.
Yeah,
And
just,
the link
I
in
know what
there,
you're
and they're down in the
Uh,
description.
I just been wanting to do that. So speaking of Woody and Miss Cindy, today when we're actually filming this is Miss Cindy's birthday, August 6th. I can't talk too much about it. I'll start crying.
I was looking at
But-
pictures of her earlier, going through them because Mom had got the pictures out because she was doing a little bit of a video and a blog post about it, and I was just like, man, you know, there's so many pictures of her life, and that's something me and Dad were discussing earlier. When you are a child, from the time you're born, you grow up with your parents. Then you grow up with the version of your parents as parents. You don't know about the 20, you know, Mom and Dad were 27 years old, 26 and 27 when they had us. I don't know anything about those 27 years before we were born. And it wouldn't matter now if I
mean,
did.
We know like stories they've told us, but
yeah,
it's not like you were there.
It's not like you were there, and it's the same thing about Miss Cindy. Before I come along, I'm like, I don't, and that's how most people are. I'm like, I don't know about, I know some stuff, but I don't know all this stuff and all these pictures about your life and everything that would have just been a pretty normal, everyday small thing to you seems like, especially when someone passes away, like this massive thing that you want to clutch at and just grasping at straws, trying to hold on. This picture of when you went to the beach, can I know more about it? And you're making this picture up in your mind, trying to hold on to the memories and the feel of your loved one that you've lost. And or maybe it's just somebody that you don't know much about, a family member, and you want to know more about them. And then you think like great grandparents back then, there's no even stories of them and nobody even knows their name. But today was her birthday, so then I want to look at those pictures and think about, well, what were those things that she did to celebrate her? And then not just before I knew her, of course, but then after that, from that moment on, what are all my memories of her in her kitchen in that house in Black Mountain, and what did it look like, and what did she do in that kitchen? She made that homemade bread that we ate, and the potato salad, and the ham, and the really good organic milk that we liked, and
I know.
all those things.
I know. Sad.
You know, and I'm just like, man, she would have loved Ira.
I know.
And the craziest thing about it is I'm like, Ira was there. He was just only like that big in my belly, and I just didn't know it.
I know,
he was there. So I like to think, well, maybe she somehow
could
knew
sense
him.
that.
Maybe she met him in spirit somehow. But today would be her birthday. She'd be 78,
Wow.
and I want to celebrate her on her birthday by thinking about
Yeah,
her. The
thinking
bread.
about her, talking about
we
her.
made her bread recipe. Mom and Dad made it this morning. You know,
Sweet.
and thinking about it. But sweet old Miss Cindy.
I know. I miss her. And the day before was Mom's birthday on August 5th. You know, we're filming this on the 6th, but yeah, we didn't even say that August 6th was her birthday. But yeah, I know. I think she would love the boys. And when I had Woody, I was hoping that I would have him on June 21st, just because that made a year since she had been passed away. And then when I was trying to calculate things up, I thought, well, no, that'll never happen. That'll put me in about a week past my due date. There's no way that that'll happen. And then, you know, my due date come and gone, and we got closer and closer and closer to that. And it's funny, he was born the very next day, early in the morning, so he only missed, you know, her time of passing away by 4 hours.
But in one way, on the papers, he did not, because by the time the hospice nurse traveled
That's
to...
true. They had the date marked as June 22nd.
Because it was past midnight.
Really the 21st. And I know that probably sounds really morbid. I would like to have my child on the day that my grandma died.
No, it's just a special...
Yeah, so how much I was thinking about that today, just how much can change in a year, you know, when she passed away and
That night.
Yeah, and then like I had no idea that almost exactly to the minute. I mean, it was only missed by like 4 or 5 hours.
Yep.
You know, that's kind of
only
wild.
about 4. Oh, barely 4.
Yeah,
exactly. 1 year later, you guys would live over here and we'd both have babies.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about that is I'd have a black cat that looked just like a black
Yeah,
cat
I
that she
know.
used to have.
We've
Isn't that
never
weird?
been cat people. Not that we dislike cats, we just always had dogs.
She would have loved Binks. She'd have been
She
all
would have.
about it. She'd have helped me with that and been all for it.
Wow. Oh my
Sweet
gosh,
Miss
so many
Cindy.
feelings in this video.
I know.
And then speaking of the boys, they're doing good. Woody he is getting fat and sassy.
Yeah.
That's what the doctor said the last time. Now it's been a good while since we've been to the doctor, and the doctor said he's fat and sassy. I said, well, that's good.
Yeah.
He is growing and he's starting to interact more. He smiled at me today, and it definitely wasn't just gas. It was intentional.
Yeah.
So-
Social. Becoming social. Ira's doing good. I think he's teething.
Bless
So
his
we're
heart.
in a fun little place with that. But he's done really well today. It seemed to be bothering him yesterday evening, but he's done pretty good and healthy, growing, doing all the fun stuff, trying to learn to crawl and all that fun stuff. So he's good. I'm good on that front.
How is Binks doing?
Binks is good. He sometimes he can be hard to get him to come in the evening, but he's been chilling, hanging out. He loves anytime that I can make it down the stairs to go to my shop, like down to my bench. He really enjoys that. If he's in there, he likes to sit with me. He's been killing snakes and bringing them to me. I've got like 4 or 5 snakes just in the last week. That's just what cats do, you know.
is, yeah.
And he wants to bring me something. I'm like, oh, thanks, you know, that's great. But he's good. As far as like my actual work goes, man,
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
I've just not been able to work a lot. Ira doesn't require a lot of sleep apparently because he doesn't sleep much and he's actually not all that fussy.
Compared to the zero sleep.
Compared to the zero sleep. Now, I think he fusses sometimes about other stuff. And he actually has, I will say, outgrown a lot of it. And I knew he would. Because the older I get, the easier things are. So I figured the older he got, it'd get a little better. But he just doesn't sleep. Which means you got to watch him, you got to walk him, you got to bounce him, you got to entertain him, you got to be there with him. You can't just go downstairs and leave him. So, I've not been able to do much at all, to be honest, work-wise. But I've got a few people waiting on me for some stuff. And actually, some of that I finished this morning. And it usually seems like I'm able to make up X amount of work, and it takes me a few weeks to get it listed, even after I've got it made. So I've compiled a little collection of work, and I'm going to list that probably tonight, tomorrow, sometime this week. So
We can put the link to
Yeah.
your shop in the description.
okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah. So I'll just go ahead and try to list some of that stuff. So I will have some new work.
Yeah.
And it seems to be in batches. Like it'll be a few weeks and I just don't have anything because I just can't work. And then in a couple weeks I can, 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, because that's usually the only time I've got.
Yeah.
I can collect it. So that's what I'll do. I'll be listing that sometime soon. A little bit of work
And
I've
then
got.
what about your polishing machine that you'll show me before we come up here to film?
Yeah, for a really long time, there's all kinds of equipment that I know about that I think would be beneficial to my business, that would make things easier, but I'm limited on space. And if I can do it by hand, and I can do a lot of stuff with my flex shaft, like my rotary tool, then I just say, oh, okay, and you just don't get around to it. I know it exists. I've just never, if I had a whole big bunch of space, then I would probably
Right.
outfit a shop. But finally I decided, something, I'm about sick and tired of polishing jewelry with a buff that's, 1 inch, because they wear out quick and it's just hard to hold on to stuff without it grabbing it away from you. So I thought they make great big polishing like arbors, huge ones, that any size you want, but they make Fordham, the same company that makes my flex shaft, makes a little one. And I thought, why don't I just try the little one, because it's not going to be a space problem, and it also would allow me to put on some other wheels besides just a buff, and maybe it would help speed things up, especially since I'm so limited on time. Instead of standing there for 20 minutes polishing something, maybe it would only take 5 on a buff this big versus that big. So I got it in the mail today. haven't had much time to do a lot with it, but I'm really pleased with it, and I'm going to continue to work on a setup of how I want it to be. Excited about that. I should have got one sooner, but
That's okay.
that's okay. Hopefully I'll be able to put that to good use soon here.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I think that'll be interesting.
I think that'll be nice.
Yeah.
All of us doing good. I was thinking, we talked about Binks. She's just doing her normal thing, stealing socks and enjoying her life.
Just being old Olive, you know.
Just being old
kinda doing
Olive.
Same old.
She's still doing good. She does real good with Woody, and she likes to be around him.
She does great with Ira too.
She does. She does a good job.
She's respectful of their space. She doesn't come up
She
on them.
is,
She
which is
just
nice.
looks from a distance.
She does.
So.
Other things. I have started Christmas shopping. I usually start in June, and so I feel, I'll be honest, so I kind of Christmas shop all year round. But I usually start in June, so I feel like I'm behind this year.
No, I mean, it's a good idea to keep from being overwhelmed by it, and then
That's
shopping sales. I mean, you know.
That's the thing, is I do not like to be overwhelmed.
No.
I like to start whatever it is. Anything that I have to do, I want to start on it as early as humanly possible.
It's good.
So, just
planned.
you know, thinking about people and what gifts they might like. I always try to get really super practical gifts. Nothing crazy, just really, if I know someone uses a certain type of deodorant, well then I will get that and put it in their stocking.
Sure.
Or pens. I always like to give pens. I think pens are a good gift. Snacks.
Yeah, I mean, I like useful items because
Yeah,
the older
just
you get, you're
practical.
like, I saw something the other day that was like, when you're young and you get clothes for Christmas, you're like, no, but then the older you get, you're like, you're really relying on it. You're like,
Absolutely.
hope such and such
Austin-
gives me that favorite long sleeve, you know?
Absolutely. Austin will not buy himself any clothes ever. That's the deer alarm again. And he does that at Christmas, so bless his heart. His socks and other garments have holes in them, and I'm like, hun,
He's
what
holding
do you,
out.
What do you do to these to put holes in them like that? But he's holding out till Christmas till I buy him some more socks. I mean, I could buy him socks right now, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think that's okay. I mean, do whatever you gotta do.
And in the house now that we have, it's just since we moved, it's a little bit bigger and just laid out different. But in the kind of new part of the house, the addition that was added on when we were kids, there's 2 rooms that have really big closets, like walk-in closets. And so in the guest room, there's a shelf that actually came from Miss Cindy's house. And so I've just put some cardboard boxes on there, and I'm really geeking out and calling it my Christmas closet. So whenever I get like a little gift for someone, they have their box on the shelf, and I put it in the box, and then it's my Christmas closet.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't seem materialistic. I don't want anyone to comment.
No,
and
you're talking
be
about
like,
buying gifts for people because you love them, and that's not materialistic.
But I really...
You'd be materialistic if you said, I'm saving all this stuff for myself. Can't wait to buy more socks in the same pair, 50
Yeah.
pair, just for me only. Me, don't nobody grub on my socks.
I enjoy it. It's really fun to, like, think about someone and think, well, what's the gift that they really would enjoy?
That's half the fun on Christmas
It
is
really
watching other
is.
people like open what you like meticulously
Yeah.
planned.
I really enjoy that. Of course, the biggest thing about Christmas is Jesus, and that's the most important
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
And I'm
But-
also so excited because we didn't get to decorate last year for Christmas because of the move. We listed in November, and then we didn't end up selling until April, but we listed in November, and so we didn't decorate for Christmas because we were basically told that it's just good to keep the house like a blank slate because that would help people imagine and like themselves there. So we didn't get to decorate for Christmas at all.
It was sad.
It was like a little bit sad, so I'm excited. This year we can go all out decorating, and I want to get a real tree and everything.
Camouflage.
I knew you were going to say that.
Last year, I felt like I couldn't help as much because I was just like feeling
Being
kind
pregnant
of,
by then. It's
not
funny,
so great,
I was
but-
not even showing by then. I remember going to Austin's extended family's Christmas, and at the time one of his cousins had a 4-month-old. And it was so funny holding him thinking, by that point I was like 2 or 3 months pregnant, but you couldn't tell at all.
It took me a long time to show.
Did me
Speaking
too.
of being pregnant, I was thinking about this, and I want to throw this in here real quick. My cousin is pregnant, and she's, approaching her, only got about 2 months left, and she's been really sick. She's got kidney stones, UTI, strep throat, got some problems, and she's, I talked to her today, and she's sounding pretty sick. She's not feeling very
Yeah,
good,
so
so
please pray for her.
please pray for her that she would just start to feel better and be able to get get her wind under her so that she could
Finish strong and
do some of the stuff she needs to do, prepare for baby. And then I know her husband is in med school and he's about to leave.
It's a lot. Just
for a little bit
pray
to
for
do another rotation, and she has a 1.5 year
yeah,
old.
he'll be 2 and later on.
So basically she
winter.
just got her hands full. So pray
for
definitely
her.
pray for her. I'm worried about her.
And 2 other things, and we'll get off of here. 2 other things to pray for. Our friend Pastor Lon, and they've got a channel. We'll link it in the description. Just keep praying for him. He's going through some health issues and some difficulties, and we've mentioned that before. So keep praying for him. And other friend that we have, they have a channel. They just reached 500 subscribers, so that is awesome. Valentine is her name, and we'll put their channel in the description. Just pray for them. They're just going through some things, and it'd be great if you could pray for them. And as always, we drop requests, and we try our best to get to the comments, but I'll just tell you the truth. What I do when I pray is I pray for the YouTube family collectively, and I pray for I say for requests that I've seen, that I haven't seen, for spoken, unspoken. My mind's feeble. I can't remember them all. People who are sick and lost loved ones, and financial situations, and any kind of situations, because God knows it all. And so we just pray for our whole YouTube family, for anyone who's ever watched one of our videos, even if they only watch one once and that's it.
That's what I do too, and just say anywhere I saw the request, or
Yeah.
if it, sometimes I lump it all together and I'll say even something at church, something, or somebody in the community that I know of, because everybody needs God in a different way. Everybody
Absolutely.
needs access to His love, His mercy,
and
His
God
grace.
knows. Now a lot of requests I will remember specifically, but not all of them. And I know there's emails sitting in my inbox right now that have requested prayer that I haven't opened. But if I see that, I say, God, be with those people in the ways they need you. But so definitely drop requests. I just say that because if we can't get to all the comments, I just want you to know we're still praying for you.
Absolutely.
So
always. I do believe that prayers, they sometimes you think, oh man, I didn't pray for that person today, and then we think that prayers expire, but they don't expire. They live forever.
Yeah.
Any time we ask something of God, and we're asking in Jesus' name, we're asking through Jesus, I believe it lives on forever. So that prayer that I said for Granny, every night I'm always praying, please be with Granny, that she would have a quality of life, that she would feel okay,
But
that
she's
she
doing
wouldn't be
pretty
scared.
good. I'm glad you brought
Right.
that up. I thought of that a minute ago and I forgot.
Right, so then it's not just yesterday's prayer. Those prayers are adding up,
Absolutely.
And my mama told me one time, my mama said, I used to say that at school, my mama said.
We need to have a Mama Said segment.
We could, because I'd be like, now that ain't what my mama said. And mama would literally say, now don't go to school and tell these kids this. I'm telling you this. This don't apply to them. I'm not their mother.
Yeah, don't tell
And I'd be
them
like, well, my mama said it ain't nice to da-da-da-da. But she did tell me one time that, she said Wade, which would have been her grandpa, he was a preacher. And he was a sweet man, it sounds like, and a spiritual man. And mama was there when he died. And she just said, I think it come from him that he believed. He's like, well, prayers that I'm praying right now will be for my generations that I don't live to meet. And that's me. Mm-hmm. And that's Ira. And that's you. And that's Woody. So I believe that the prayers that he was praying then have blessed my life, because he wanted to do his part and live in a godly life, so that therefore his offspring and generations could benefit. Absolutely. And it's the same thing I think all the time. I'm like, well, if I do my part with Ira, then I could be, and I will be, I am affecting generations that I'll be dead. If God don't come back and the world don't explode or whatever, I'll be dead and they'll still be out here doing their thing. So I do believe that prayers are long lasting, and as many as many prayers as I can say, I'm just adding to that prayer bank for whatever situation it is that somebody has, whoever's in need. So
absolutely, and
I'm doing that. That's serious.
I
take that real serious.
Absolutely, and that reminds me, we've had a couple of people say, would we put them on the prayer chain or prayer list, however you want to call it, at church. And a couple of Sundays ago, we actually, requested prayer, and I said, this may seem kind of odd, but as most congregation know this real well, so they know that we do YouTube, us and Mom, and I said, we get a lot of requests. Will you just pray for the YouTube family? So,
absolutely. There's nothing more serious than prayer and God and my relationship with God.
That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. How weak and feeble I am on my end, but how important it is
how
that
good God is.
Yeah, sure. That I give Him the glory for what He's done. Praise the Lord.
Absolutely. That's for all of us, and God is so good. I mean, he's, that's all that matters. He's everything. And well, I guess we better get off here.
And I gotta go back how long we've ticked along here.
I know. I always have a real big fear. I'm like, what if the camera's not even going and we've sat here for this long and
oh gosh, that'd be bad, wouldn't it? But I want to feel like we can cover everything.
Yeah.
And
if it ends up being longer, then
it just ends up being longer. But I want to make sure that this is for our YouTube family, the people who are. It's like I said in one of our last videos. I feel like just this random butthead who cares what I'm doing, But it's so generous and loving and just so precious and special that people do. So then I want to tell you what I'm doing. I want to tell you what's going on in my little world.
Absolutely. And we love making these videos. And I mean, I know we say it all the time, but it's just like the best part has just been this community. And I just look at it like, especially now that, like I say, moved back, for me, but that me and Austin have moved, back into the holler. I just look at it like, our channel and Mom's channel. Of course, if you're seeing this and you don't know our Mom has a channel, we'll put that in the description as well. That I just want it to be, good, God-inspired, just good, clean content that comes out of this, wholesome content that comes out of this holler, this mountain holler in North Kakalaki. And,
that's it.
And
right.
Goes out to the world. And, I mean, we're passionate about this and we love it and we love corresponding and we love talking to y'all. And, we get comments about people who are disabled and bedbound and like, that just, sorry, I'm getting all, like, crying now. It just,
it breaks my
heart.
Just
breaks our heart.
Makes me feel horrible.
And it just people. Kills me. But that's, like, I mean, I want to make these videos for everyone, but that especially, we want to make these videos for y'all. We want you to know that you're seen and that you're important and that God loves you and that we love you. That's, I just...
That's what I want. I want you to know whoever you are, wherever you are seen. And you are important.
And that God loves you. And that we, the two crazy girls in North Kakalaki, love you too.
And we love you. And it's important. It's so important that everybody is seen.
Yeah.
Because you go through times in your life where you feel down, you feel scared, you feel worried, you got a problem, you feel alone. And there's nothing worse than being alone, than feeling alone. And something, there's people who really are. And there's been so many times, and I've had to catch myself. There's been so many times where I've said, well, because this isn't how my life, I didn't think my life would go like this. I thought, I'll get married and I'll have some kids and that's just not exactly what's happened. And of course that's been by my own doing, I'll be the first to stand up and admit that. But there's been so many times where I've been tempted to get down in that place and feel bad about what, people don't do what they're, what you think they'll do and da-da-da-da-da-da. But I have to always tell myself, now you're not alone, and there's people who are alone because their family dies because of other situations, and you ain't one of them. So even though you might feel like that, you better just count your blessings because it could be worse, and that people might be like, wow, you're gaslighting yourself. I'm like, well, then I might be on fire because I say a lot of that stuff to myself because I got to, I ain't gonna wallow. God's been too good to me for me to ever try to,
Yeah.
And even, I don't mean it like that. Oh, I'm so good, I don't wallow. I wallow about every 4 minutes sometimes, and I gotta say, get up out of the mud. Quit being a baby.
Absolutely, I do.
So I just want everybody to know. I'm like, listen, as long as God lets me continue to breathe and I'm gonna be here running my mouth,
making these videos,
doing the things, doing the videos, and because it makes me feel good too. Makes me feel seen. It makes me feel like I have friends and.
We love making these videos. It's just funny to think of, we went to college and got 4-year degrees and now we don't use them at all. Not that I'm not thankful for it.
No,
I mean, it's just funny that we ended up here doing this, but we love it.
Exactly.
So on that note, we really better get off here.
We better get off here. And I never thought it, but...
No, this is like the people in the South where it's like, well, I really got to go. And then like 30 minutes in the hallway, and then 30 minutes at the door, and then in the driveway, and then at the car, and then you're walking off, and then they're still following your car. That's us. We're still following you.
Yeah, I know.
But we're going to get off here.
I have to go figure out what my child's done because, see, I did put him down for a nap and I looked at the baby and I said, oh, he's asleep. That's so sweet. I didn't give him a bath. We're ready for bedtime. And right as we started this video, Papa peeps out the door and he's like, holding the baby. Surprise! I'm awake. What you doing, Mom?
I know.
So
I gotta go see what Woody's doing.
Indeed. We're going to sign off here then. We got some other videos coming up. So that's good.
We're trying our best to hang in there. Some weeks are easier than others. Some weeks seem to be easy, and then other weeks we're like, oh gosh, how am I going to find the time to film? But we want to.
We do.
We really want to try if we can. So
I love showing up here. I like knowing that we're a part of, and I'm hoping that we're going to do another live, because I really enjoy that interaction. And it's a good time for people if you have questions or if you just want to be like, hey, what's the two buttheads doing?
Yeah. And we hope, and I swear after this, we really are going to get off here. We hope at some point, like the cookbook signing that Mama had, we didn't get to go to it recently, but I hope that we'll get to do something like that in the future. I would love to have a meet and greet, and
That'd
just
be cool.
Anyone who could and who wanted to, come meet. That was so cool. I got to go with, maybe -1. I got to go to all the cookbook signings with Mom last year.
I went to a few.
Wow, was it so cool to meet people. It was so fun. I loved it so much.
It was fun.
So,
and we met a lot of you, our friends from Alabama, who, bless their heart, they tried so hard to get to Alexander's, and they almost didn't make it because they got a flat tire. And they said it just seemed like every single thing was stopping them. And I know you're watching this video, and we love the stuff that you give us.
Thank you guys for that.
I know the flat tire is just crazy, isn't it? But
of all time,
we're so glad that you made it, and I gotta send you a message back, and I'm going to, about a piece of jewelry. And we love you, and thank you for coming all that way.
Absolutely.
And struggling. So,
all right.
Anyway,
we love you all.
I also heard my Uncle Steve got fangirled, which is awesome because he works at Alexander's, Mama's brother.
Oh yeah,
that's killer. About that. If you meet anybody, I'm like, comment below if you met Uncle Steve and tell me what you think about him. Comment Uncle Steve. Steve is probably one of the better people you'll ever meet. He's quiet and he's pretty serious, but that man's wise.
Oh yeah, he really is.
And I love my Uncle Steve, and I love my Uncle Paul too. He wasn't there, but if he was there, he'd tell you something really funny because he's funny.
He's very smart too.
All right, well, gotta go. As usual, God bless you. God keep you.
We'll see you on the next one.
To be tomorrow. For you.
Be tomorrow for you. Bye.
Bye.
All right. I didn't.
Look how much hair you've got.
I don't know what it is. It was something about being pregnant, and then after pregnancy, I'm like, why is my hair so nice? And when's it coming where it's gonna fall out?
4 months.
I'm gonna look like a rat.
4 months, because that's what happened to me.
Feel my face.
Why?
Feel how sticky it is.
Oh, why was it sticky? No, I feel it, but why is it
it's
sticky?
Awful. My new moisturizer. All right, sit back down. We're gonna do a thumbnail.
Good Lord.
How long?
41 minutes. Good Lord, child, don't put that stuff on anymore.
It's like to be a human flash drive.
Oh, I'm gonna be committed. I'm gonna use all the products. I'm gonna do the diet. I'm gonna do the exercise. And then you spend a little money to get started, and then you say, I don't care.
I give up.
I give up. I'm still not gonna do it. And I know I won't. Thumbnail's gonna be this. Watch our video because we talk about a bunch of nonsense. Once a year. Every now and then.
Once a blue moon.
But for the most part in the shower, with water, I'm just like, get the dirt off. Just with water. And that does it. And that's enough.
This is going down.
I know. I have terrible posture. Can we call this video two frogs? Bad posture. If you want to be like us, break your own back. All right, we're out. All right, look, I gotta go see what my child's doing.